All right, there we go. We are good to go. Welcome, one and all, ladies and gentlemen of the comic book world. My name is Chris. This is my channel, We Love Comics. And I always start out by thanking each and every one of you for checking out this video, whether you watch it live or you watch it days, weeks, or months later. Hopefully you'll get something out of it to help with your comic book collection. It is the 4th of April, 2019, getting ready for tax time. I'm sure everybody's excited about that. It is currently 1:31 p.m. Eastern Time, and I cannot believe it. Horror Breakdown, you're not first on the comments today. As a matter of fact, I don't see a comment from him yet. But I see Mark G is here. I see Joshua's here. I guess Horror Breakdown is busy landing planes right now, so hopefully he's doing a wonderful and safe job with that. But we're going to be showing... I have the entire series of the Eternals. I have actually 2 sets. So I got good deals on them before they really got the official announcements. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show each and every book, and I'm going to tell you which ones have something of significance in them. Now, keep it up. There he is. See, Horror, you're only third today. What's going on? Nathan Nation is here, so welcome. Lewis Boyle, I see people are starting to come in. They saw the notification. I have all 20 Eternals books. Now, one of the things I highly recommend is if you can, get all 20, but it's going to start getting out of reach now, especially when they start making any kind of teaser trailer or end credit scene with an Eternal in it. You know what's going to happen. Everybody's going to start rushing to it. So, unfortunately, a lot of people wait. So, if you can only afford a couple of the books, I'm going to tell you which ones have some kind of significance. Now, keep in mind, there is no guarantee that the people that are in these books will show up in the comics or they'll be the same. So keep that in mind. There are no guarantees, and we don't even know if they'll be good or not. So when it comes to any kind of investment, first of all, do it because you love it. Because if it doesn't succeed financially, but you bought them because you loved them, then you're not going to lose out. But I want you guys to keep that in mind. All right, now I'm starting to see a bunch of people coming in, so welcome. And I just want to make a quick little announcement. I am still selling my comics, not my entire collection, just my multiple copies, trying to build up some financial income to be able to have me and the wife move to a warmer climate and a less expensive some kind of area. We've narrowed it down to a couple of different states, and some of it is thanks to your suggestions. So if you're interested in getting any of my packages for the comics, they're mystery boxes, but I'll make sure that they got some pretty decent comics in it. The description of every video will give you the details if you're interested in that. So with that being said, let me put on the video camera. So I'm going to show each book, and I'll tell you if it has significance. So if you can't afford to get every book, at least you can get the ones that have the potential of having something in it. So there's a couple of these books that actually have some first appearances, and we'll have to see, you know, when the movies come out, which ones, you know, are going to be in there. So there are some that are going to be more significant than others, but if anything, you get to see each book, and I'll tell the significance. So we're going to start with, first, this is the one and only annual. So this is Eternals Annual issue number 1. You will most likely be able to find this in a $1.50 bin. No significance in this book as far as any first appearances. This is for the people who want to, you know, basically collect the entire run. So I'm going to show those. Excuse me one second. All right. So my cats decide to have a little bit of an argument in the middle of this. Okay. So we're going to go count down. So this is Eternals number 19. This was their last issue, so it only goes from issues 1 through 19 and the one annual. So this one, again, this one does not have any first appearances or any major significance. So this will be one of those books that if you just want to have the complete run, you know what they look like. Then we have, next up, this is number 18. This one does have some first appearances. Again, keep in mind, I can't guarantee if they'll ever be in the movies or anything significant, but this would be the first appearance of Zyran the Tester. So it does have a first appearance. So this might be a book you might want to check out. Now, since this book hasn't had anything announced as far as the characters, you could probably get this one basically pretty cheap. I paid $4.05 per book because I bought them all as a stack. And I only got the other one for about $1.75 a piece. But I got that one about a year or two ago. All right, number 17. Now, this one doesn't have any first appearances, but this will, as you see right here, it has a Cersei appearance. So Cersei is so far the only person that I know of that has been confirmed to be in the movie version. So that book has gone up significantly. So this might be one of those getting it under the radars. You could probably get this one pretty cheap. So it's not her first appearance or anything. It's just a Cersei appearance. So if you're looking for a book that you might be able to quickly flip, you know, you'll probably get this for $5 or less on eBay and probably still find it in the dollar bins or maybe $2 at a comic store or a flea market. Turn around and probably sell it for 10 bucks. All right. Next one. This is number 16. Mark G says, what are the pictures on the wall? The pictures on the wall, that particular picture right there is a limited edition Star Trek signed lithograph. And all the other stuff is from you guys. As a matter of fact, if anybody wants to ever send me anything, some people sent me comics, some people sent me, like, for example, on my birthday, they sent me birthday cards, and some people drew some original art. I do videos with unboxings of those, so the details of where you can send them is also in the description. So that's what all that is. So again, this is number 16. This one does not have any significance, so if you cannot afford to get the entire run, this might be a book to avoid. All right, next up, number 15. Now then, this one does not have any first appearances. It does have, as you could see, a Hulk appearance, and I'll show you, I think it's the next book that explains why that's significant. Whether that becomes something, I don't know. No, there's no Star Wars, that was Star Trek. So I don't know if you heard what I just said. So it's Star Trek. I am a Star Wars fan. Well, I used to be a Star Wars fan until the recent movies destroyed my love for Star Wars, which is disappointing, but that's a video for another time. All right, so this one will have a minor little significance. This one is Eternals number 14. As you could see, it has a Hulk appearance. Now, it says it is the first cosmic Hulk. Now, what that means as far as the MCU, honestly, it probably might not mean anything, but you never know. This could be another one of those books that might slip under the radar. You could probably get pretty cheap. So it is, like I was saying in the other one, the Hulk appearance. So it is the first cosmic Hulk. Again, what that will mean in the MCU, who knows? I doubt it might be anything, but, you know, if they can make a raccoon in a tree popular, they could probably do anything. All right, so next up, issue number 13. This will have some first appearances and something to look out for. There is a 35-cent variant. So if you happen to see this one with 35 cents on it, you might want to pick that one up. Because as you can see here, the regular version is 30 cents. So there is a 35-cent variant on this one. Now this does have minor significance. Again, whether it happens in the movies, who knows? But it is the first appearance of Gilgamesh. So, a couple of things to look for this book. Again, probably one you can get cheap. All right. Again, this one, number 12, also has a 35-cent variant. As you can see, this is the regular one. This is Eternals number 12. So there are some 35-cent variants out there to look out for that people may not know about. Knowledge is power, so the more you research and the more you learn, the more you can end up picking up steals from somebody who just doesn't want to take the time to do their research. So if somebody has a 35-cent version of this book and they didn't know about it, well, that's their fault for not doing the research and your benefit if you did. But this also has a first appearance. It is the first appearance of Unimind. So again, if that ends up in a movie, who knows? I doubt it, but again, you never know. All right. This is Eternals number 11. This one does not have any significance as far as the first appearance or anything like that. Chad says 35 cents. I refuse to buy any Marvel comic that isn't $5.99 or more. Well, you're in luck because pretty much 90% of the Marvel comics these days are about $4.99 to $5.99. So you'll be in your glory when you see New Comic Book Day come out from Marvel. But yeah, this was back in the days when you could buy comics for pocket change. Those days are long gone. But again, this one has no significance. It's only good for people who want to see about the complete run. Same thing with this one. This is issue number 10. Now, just because it doesn't have a first appearance doesn't mean you might not want to pick it up. I mean, if it's a good story and you like reading it, you know, it's still a good reason to get it. Don't just buy stuff just because of the financial value. I mean, that is an icing on the cake. That is a bonus. But, I mean, they could be good reads if you like reading certain comics. I mean, not everything is for everyone. Or if you're a person that wants a complete run, at least you know what to look for. So, again, this one does not have any significance as far as the first appearance or anything. All right, this one does. This is Eternals number 9. Ah, Gorilla Grodd says he picked up Eternals 3 for $6. That's pretty darn good. And we'll explain why in a little bit, so don't spoil it, my friend. But that is definitely a good price. Now, this one is the first appearance of a character called Sprite. And no, we're not talking about the canned beverage. Although it may be, you never know. So that one, again, might be slipping under the radar. Who knows if that character will see the light of day in the MCU. But considering we don't know much about the Eternals yet, they could pick anything, so that might be something to think about, and again, could be caught under the radar, because remember, number 3, which we'll get to, a month ago, no one cared about the book. Now all of a sudden they do, because they announced one of the characters, so keep that in mind. All right, so this one has 2 first appearances. This is issue number 8, and it's actually at the newsstand. So this is the cover. I want to make sure I show the cover so you can see it, so you have a general idea of what the book looks like. Johnny Future asks, how's Luna? Luna's starting to get better. Her wounds have finally scarred over. They're completely healed. She does have to be on medication for the rest of her life because she does have a heart problem. So that's something we have to deal with. But she's doing much better, so thank you for that. All right, so this book is the first Reject and the first Carcass, K-A-R-K-A-S. So there are 2 first appearances in this book. Again, and I'll keep saying it, there are no guarantees they'll be in the movie, but if you can get it cheap and it happens, it could turn a $5 book into a $50 book overnight. You've already seen that in one of the books. All right, so this one also has some first appearances. This is Eternals number 7. Looks like the person you saw in that scene in Guardians of the Galaxy. I like that they did that. This is a couple of them. It has the first Jemiah, the first Tefral, I believe it is, T-E-F-R-A-L. But it also has the first, the One Above All. So this one, I think, is going to be a sleeper pick. Now, I don't think they're going to use the One Above All in a Marvel movie. I mean, it's just way too powerful a character. But it's still one that pretty much everybody knows about if you know the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Hey, Chris, just for your information, your chat is on slow mode. Just letting you know in case it wasn't intentional. I don't know why it's doing that, but let's put it this way. The video I did yesterday, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, YouTube is still processing. So, I don't understand. Maybe it's you because no one else has said anything, so maybe try refreshing. But yeah, YouTube is kind of screwing me over lately. So, Harvey, if you're listening, hopefully it processes because he needs the closed captions because he has a hearing problem. And if it doesn't process, that doesn't happen. So bad job on YouTube's behalf. So again, this might be one that you might consider picking up, issue number 7. The first one above all, the first Jemiah, I believe it's pronounced, and Tefril. So that might be something to consider. Again, can't guarantee any of them will be in the movie. All right, so this is Eternals right here. This is issue number 6. This one does not have any first appearances or anything, so unless you're looking to get the complete run, this might be one of those books you pass by so you could focus more on the key issues, if that's what you want. Of course, if you want to read the entire series, you need the entire series. Big Will says, which one above all? Well, that would be kind of an oxymoron if you think about it, because if somebody is above the one above all, then he would be the one above all. I didn't look in the book to verify. I just went by what was notified. So that part you'll have to research yourself. But I always assumed if there's only one above all. You can't have two above all, because then it would be the 2 above all. So, interesting question. All right. This one, again, it's an early Eternals, but does not have any first appearances. This is Eternals number 5. So this is for the people who are looking for which comics they need to complete the collection or wanting to read them, because this one probably... I mean, they'll all go up because of the fact of the MCU, and if it does well and they continue using the Eternals... I mean, these books will go up regardless, so it always depends on what you pay for them. Never overpay, because so many people are going to be selling these. There's just a matter of time before you find a deal. So be patient. Take your time. All right, so this one has a minor significance. This is Eternals number 4. It does have the first Gamamon the Gatherer, who is a Celestial. Who knows if that person will be used. And it is the second appearance of Cersei. So if you cannot afford her first appearance, this would be the next best thing. Probably get this one for pretty cheap still at this point. This is the second or third most desirable book. The last 3 are the ones you absolutely should be getting. This is the most recent one that all of a sudden became hot. A month ago, nobody cared about this book. Now people really are caring. This is Eternals number 3. This is the first appearance of Cersei, which we've learned has been confirmed in the MCU. So this is a very desirable book. As somebody stated in the chat earlier, they found one for $6. So it's still early enough to get this. Because keep in mind, because a lot of us watch comic book channels, we kind of think everybody in the world knows everything about the comics. That's not true. Go out on the street and ask somebody what an Eternal is. They'll have no idea what you're talking about. So there might be people selling these and having no idea what they're selling. So if you know what to look for, you could take advantage of that. And it's really not doing anything bad because, you know, it's a person's choice to research or not research. So if a person's going to sell something that they have no idea its value of and they decided to be lazy and not research, that's their fault, not yours. So if you find this at a yard sale for 25 cents, that's your reward for taking the time and effort to study and research and know what you're talking about. So this is definitely a book to go search for. It's getting up there in price, so don't wait too long. Like I said, about two months ago, I got this entire set for $4.05 a piece. So there's deals that can be found, but this is definitely a key issue. Another key issue, this is a must-have in my of all these books, in my opinion. There is a 30-cent variant for this book. Get that one if you can get it, because that's going to be almost double the value. I was lucky enough a couple of months ago to get the 30-cent variant for like $75. It's probably at least in a fine, very fine, if not higher. I will be sending that out eventually to get graded. But there is a 30-cent variant, so keep an eye out for that one. If you could get that, snatch it up. But this is the first appearance of Ajax and the Celestials. So we already know the Celestials are going to be a big part of this. So this is their first appearance. So this, again, is a must-have, in my opinion. Of course, it all depends on what you're paying for it. So make sure you do your research. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. And they can only take advantage of you if you choose to be lazy and not do the work. So go on eBay and find out what these are selling for. Go on places like Go Collect or any other price guide. Have an idea of what the prices are. And keep in mind, those are suggestions. They're not guarantees. Because if they list something at $500 and nobody wants to buy it, that means it doesn't have the value they're saying it does. And on the other side, if they say it's $500 and people are willing to spend $600, $700, $800, $900 for it, it shows that it's just a guideline. That's why they're called price guides, not price guarantees. So that can go up and down depending on the situation. All right, so the #1 book, obviously, this is one of the key books you need to get. This is the first appearance of the Eternals, issue #1. Now, this also has a 30-cent variant. I was lucky enough to get this 30-cent variant. This one isn't it. I have the other one. I think I paid like $300 and something for that book. It's probably at least a 9.0. That book is going to continue to skyrocket, again, provided the movies are good. If the movies are horrible, you know what's going to happen. I mean, look what happened with the Fantastic Four movie and what it did to the comics. But it also gave a buying opportunity. So there is a chance. So remember, there's always risks involved. So Ariel says, Chris, I got an Eternals #1 for $67 total. And it's about 9.2-ish. Plus I'm pressing it. So there you go. Make sure you check around. Because like I said, I got this for $4.05. The average cost of these for me was under $25. Some of them like about under $14 because I bought them a couple years ago. The biggest mistake most comic collectors have is they wait until all of a sudden there's an announcement and then everybody pounces and that increases the demand, which means prices go up. The idea is to try and get them before that happens. So since the Eternals have already been announced and since a character like Cersei has already been announced, the books are starting to go up. But it has not reached its peak yet because they haven't been in a teaser trailer. They haven't been in an end credit scene. But once it gets to that point, you know what's going to happen. Every person under the sun is going to go out and start looking for these books. So don't be one of those people that waits unless you cannot find a good deal. Some books are worth paying the current fair market value of if you know what's coming. That's why I've been telling people to get things like Hulk 181 and 180 and Fantastic Four 48 and 49 and to a lesser extent number 50 and other books like that because we know what's coming. Anybody selling those books right now, unless they really need the money, are crazy because they're going to sell them and then they're going to find out about 6 months to 2 years from now that they probably could have sold them for double or triple. You know, again, if you don't do your research, that's your own fault, so you got to take responsibility. And that's why channels like mine, I'm trying to get you to think differently so you don't just go with the herd that does what everybody else does. And then they wonder why they're never happy. So even I Like Donut says, I listened to you, Chris, a couple of months ago, and I purchased a couple of #1 and #2, so thank you for that. You're welcome. Have No Fear says, if the 25 cent is rare, is the 10 pence rarer? Honestly, unless it's a very rare exception, the other country variants tend to not be worth as much. They're not as desirable. Just because something is rare does not mean it's valuable. I've seen so many different channels that keep trying to push, well, this is limited to 1,000 copies or limited to 250 copies, or this one's much rarer than the other ones. It's only valuable if people want it. And we'll put it this way. I know some people just don't want to hear the truth because it conflicts against what they put their passion in. But you could either hear pandering, which helps you in no way, or hear the truth so you can gather it. Let's put it this way. Have no fear. How many people do you know are looking for the 10 pence version? How many videos out there are telling you to get it? So what that tells you is it could be rarer, but it doesn't mean it's desirable. So I mean, if you buy it because you can afford that version, something's always better than nothing. If you're buying it because you love to read it, then it doesn't matter about that stuff. But if you're doing it for the most money that you could get, if you're doing it for selling it, and contrary to most people in this community believe, a majority of people are buying and selling comics, and they're collecting for profit. People just don't want to hear that. If you think people are buying comics just to read them, they're not the majority. I'm not saying they're not out there, and it doesn't matter how you do it anyway, but don't fall into that trap of rare, limited edition, one or two available. It has to be something desirable. So salesmen will sell you stuff by making those things seem more than they are. So if you don't do your own research, you're going to burn yourself. So be very careful about that. So again, with very few exceptions, other countries' versions of the comics tend to not be worth as much. Just look at X-Men #1, Fantastic Four #1, Hulk 181, all of those. Just look at their Italian counterparts or Euro counterparts. Look at the difference in what people are willing to pay for them. That should tell you everything you need to know. So if people want to go on to other YouTube channels that, give you an echo chamber and make you, feel positive about things that really you shouldn't be positive about, then they're misleading you, and how is that helping you? So be careful about that and research. And that's what this channel's all about. It's telling you my point of view, my opinions, trying to educate you to think differently, but ultimately letting you know that it's your responsibility to know what you're doing. And if you choose not to do that, don't be surprised you're unhappy more than you are happy. So until people take responsibility for their actions or lack thereof, and they just want to go to echo chambers to tell them what they want to hear, don't be surprised you're going to be disappointed. So hopefully we'll try and switch that around at least here. So whether you appreciate that or not, that's up to you. I can't tell you how to think. I just try and show you the best way. And Johnny Future says, Chris gave you a new sub yesterday at my local comic shop. Was happy to recommend your channel. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. Anybody that does that, leave a little shout, put a little comment, let it known, because I appreciate people that take that time to do that. So, Johnny, thank you very much. And whoever that person is, tell them I said hello, and I said thank you. And Sunday Heat Collection says it well. Do your homework. You can cheat off of somebody else's test. You can have or pay somebody to do your homework. That's easy, but you don't learn anything. So the easy way is not the best way. So keep that in mind. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me do today's surprise subscriber shout out. When I do the live shows, you do not have to be a subscriber, but I hope I win your subscriptions. And if I do, just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Just stay away from your belly button. And today, we're going to have 2 surprise subscriber shout-outs. We're going to go with I Like Donuts 57, and we're going to go with Sunday Heat Collection. So 2 surprise subscriber shout-outs today. So thank you very much. We'll see if YouTube actually allows me to process this video. Hopefully this video helped you, so please share it if you think it does. Happy collecting. Wait for deals and ask for deals. Make things happen. Don't sit around hoping for things to happen, because you'll spend the rest of your life sitting around waiting. So thanks for listening. Have a great day. And don't forget, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy collecting.